his life was an inspiration, and I really believe that he is in God's hands, and he is living with God now.
What better legacy could any of us leave than the kind of leadership and kindness and openness that he has given?
My family really thanks you from the bottom of our hearts. The outpouring of support has been amazing.
Even in the midst of realizing that the end would be close, he's chosen to live with love and faith and generosity.
You wonder why. Yeah, why this happened to me. And you have to have a lot of faith and trust in God that there's a bigger plan.
Death does not have the final word, and death did not have the final word for Chris.
Just remember what Chris Bradley said. Nobody fights cancer alone. We're here for you. He'll always be there for me.
Thank God. I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss being picked up by Chris.
We're all learning how to live in a world tonight without one of our friends. As you have likely heard by now, Chris Bradley, 10 TV's chief meteorologist, passed away today from leukemia.
Chris spent his last hours with his family by his side. His husband Jason tells us they shared a beautiful day and Chris went peacefully.
Well, tonight we remember the man who always had a smile on his face, who uplifted his friends and strangers alike.
Chris was our chief meteorologist and my counterpart for the past 12 years here at 10 TV.
We miss him dearly already, and we know many of you do too.
Chris fought long and hard against his cancer. He wanted so much to live, but he wasn't afraid to die either. He told us often he had peace with God. Chris connected with the community in so many ways. He was open and honest about his life and his cancer battle.
We start off with a little bit of good news.
When Chris Bradley took the air on July 1st, 2006, he brought sunshine, even when the forecast called for rain.
Now, the model's showing a slight chance of a shower, but I think it's only a 10% chance. I think most of us going to be dry.
His booming voice and effortless knack for connecting with viewers made him #1 in the market.
Verna, Teresa, Melissa, welcome aboard. How you doing, everybody?
He was an unabashed weather geek, always ready to share some meteorological gem he uncovered about what made each day unique.
Full moon is coming, yes, and it will be the Hunter's moon.
He loved to jump on Facebook and do forecasts for a fan club that became part of his geek patrol. He had thousands of Facebook friends, garnering hundreds of thousands of likes when he posted something.
Hello. What's up?
A family man to the core, Chris would often slip out of the newsroom after the 6 o'clock broadcast to run home and have a quick dinner with his family. Son Spencer, daughter Maria, and husband Jason. Here they are in New York City, where Chris and Jason got married 3 years ago when it became legal. They'd been together for 23 years. He loved getting outdoors with his crew, whether it be canoeing, catching the crew play at Mafre Stadium, or watching the Blue Jackets take the ice at Nationwide Arena. He was a fitness buff. Chris loved running and cycling and did so in many charity races. Pelotonia, Maria's Miles. A champion of the LGBTQ community, Chris marched in the annual Columbus Pride Parade and AIDS Walk.
Who's ready to walk and run?
And the newsroom could always count on him every year to be part of the Nationwide Children's Hospital Telethon. And who can forget the night he kissed a pig on live TV to raise money for the kids?
Doppler 10 radar still picking up on some storms.
But Chris was most at home on the weather set, scouring maps and radar. When severe weather struck, he was like a machine, cranking out information about weather conditions and warning people when they'd need to take cover.
Flooding could be a concern in southern Ohio.
He made you aware.
So we've got you covered there. We're watching that.
And he made you feel safe. A true professional and media celebrity who always found time for others. A man happy with his life, thankful for his family, and grateful for the opportunity to do a job that he could fall in love with. We'll miss you, Chris.
Chris Bradley will be remembered by his close friends and family this weekend. A private memorial will be held next week.
I spoke with Chris a week ago today at his home, and we talked about what we know best, the weather, of course, and his appreciation for everyone's support and prayers.
I love my job. It was something I look forward to every day, and pretty geeky. I would check the weather in the morning and the afternoon, and when I get to work, and that's just part of me.
The true lights of Chris's life, though, were his children, Spencer and Maria. Chris and his husband, Jason, weren't quite complete until they became a family of 4. Over the years, he shared his joy and pride in his children with you at home.
And we asked some of those who knew Chris best to speak out about him as a father.
I would want Spencer and Maria to know that Chris loved them fiercely, and that leaves a mark on them. And they may not be able to see it right now and may not understand the depths of it for a number of years. But having been loved that fiercely lays a foundation for life that I think they will give Chris thanks for later.
And Chris never missed a moment in his kid's life. He went home for dinner during the week, as you heard. He taught Sunday school and led a campfire kids group at his church. Maria and Spencer attended. His pastors say it was such a loss for them when Chris had to stop attending those events.
Chris's guiding force through the good times, the bad times, has always been his faith. It's what sustained him and his family through his final hours.
As 10 TV's Glenn McIntyre shows us tonight, those who knew him best say Chris stood firm that death was not the end.
In what he chose as one of his final public statements, Chris spoke of his unshakable faith.
Knowing that God loves you and that you're saved.
Knowing his days were waning, he gave testimony to his higher power.
You have eternal life. And when you realize that, it's not really an end, it's a new beginning.
Since 2004, Chris's home church has been King Avenue United Methodist, led since 2006 by Pastor John Keeney.
He started as the head meteorologist at Channel 10 around that time. And so we kind of tracked how well each of us were being received, me at King Avenue and him by the viewership at Channel 10. And he said, John, it just dawned on me that we started about the same time in our current positions. And I was just wondering, have you been 100% received? And I said, well, pretty much, but not by everybody. And I said, what about you, Chris? And he said, no, not everybody. Sometimes I get emails. Oh, gee, Chris, it's hard to believe.
The Bradley Krause family goes back even further with Pastor Don Wallach.
The first thing that comes to mind for me when you say Chris is a depth of kindness that is rare to find in another human being.
Together, Wallach and Keeney guided Chris and Jason through coming out publicly as a couple and the glorious addition of their children, Spencer and Maria.
When the challenges would come in life, it's not that he didn't feel the challenge, and it's not that he sometimes didn't feel hurt or upset, but he always came back to that he knew God was walking with him every step of the way.
They would face no challenge greater than Chris's diagnosis of cancer.
When Chris and I talked about his dying, he struck me as a person who wasn't struggling not to die. I mean, a lot of people might fight death because they just don't want to die. But that was never an issue for Chris. Chris was, in his struggle with the cancer, was choosing to live. And there's a big difference between not wanting to die and wanting to live. And Chris was a person who wanted to live because he appreciated life so much.
Even in the midst of realizing that the end would be close, he's chosen to live with love and faith and generosity. And I think, my gosh, I hope we all can do that when we know it's coming. Actually, maybe we should be doing it all the time.
But even the power of faith doesn't erase the pain.
The last couple of weeks of Chris's life, when I'd leave the house feeling better for having visited him, and I think, gosh, I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss being picked up by Chris.
It's hard to watch one of the great shining lights in a community go out. To know that that bright shining light of faith and love and kindness and generosity is going to go out. The world will be a little darker, at least for a while. And I'll just choose to believe like Chris believes, that he is in God's hands, and it is okay.
It's going to be a real loss to me. It's a real loss to our church. The church is going to grieve a great deal. I believe that in the midst of our grief, what will get us through that will be the deep gratitude we have for the blessing that Chris has been to us.
You know, in these last days, we all had a chance to see him, and we'd come away from him feeling picked up, as the man said in this piece.
Still give you that dazzling smile, even though we felt terrible. So
he taught us how to live. He taught us all how to live, and boy did he live.
And since you never know, don't waste a minute of it.
No, he was optimistic and grateful and thankful and loving till the end.
Till the end.
You couldn't help but smile when Chris was around, and man, we goofed off a lot. We goofed off a lot.
We enjoyed it all. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Angela Pace, Director of Community Affairs at WBNS-TV. We are an equal opportunity employer dedicated to providing broad outreach efforts regarding job vacancies within our company. Organizations that wish to receive our job openings should forward a request to Human Resources at WBNS-TV, 770 Twin Rivers Drive, Columbus, Ohio, 43215. Or, if you would like to view our job openings online, please visit our website at 10tv.com.
It truly is the season to believe. Because this Thursday through Saturday, Santa Bucks are back. So you decide what's on sale. Believe. We've got everything else you need.
World-class heart care is closer than you think.
My heart was failing. No one else could figure out what was wrong with me. And Cleveland Clinic is the one that saved my life.
When you choose Cleveland Clinic, you'll get the nation's #1 heart program 24 years in a row.
Meeting the surgeon, understanding everything that was going to happen was a tremendous stress relief.
You'll have a team specialized in the most complex heart cases, with an unparalleled record of successful treatments and access to the most advanced heart technology.
It's wonderful that Cleveland Clinic is on the cutting edge of all this. They're there to find the problem and to fix it so that you have a quality of life again.
If you or a loved one have a heart condition or need a second opinion, call us today, 833-217-2444. Cleveland Clinic. Every life deserves world-class care.
Beat the rush. 10 TV keeps you ahead of the traffic. Get your traffic reports on 10 TV. Sponsored by your Central Ohio Honda dealers. Weekdays on 10 TV.
Experience more than just a mattress store. Experience an original. The Original Mattress Factory.
It's funny how the biggest ideas often make our impact smaller. How looking closer at soil has helped us grow our thinking. And by creating digital tools that make resource use more precise, we use less. Like many industries, agriculture uses data to evolve, but you might not see our greatest innovations because they help keep what the earth has given us right where it belongs. We give back by moving forward.
Howdy, folks.
Drop by TJ's anytime for a sunshine sandwich, the perfect way to start your day.
TJ's, real good food.
You better watch out, because Thursday through Saturday, Santa Bucks are back. So you decide what's on sale. Choose from great gifts like this and this. Believe, we've got everything else you need.
Closed captioning on 10 TV is sponsored by the Original Mattress Factory.
This is a quote from our friend. Chris wrote in his last Facebook update saying, "Please always remember that which we share in common. That which we share in common is stronger than our differences." Now, we and all of you out there at home loved Chris for his authenticity.
He was authentic. He was open and honest and real. And that included sharing his family with all of us. He was a proud advocate of the LGBTQ community, making him a role model and symbol of hope to many.
Seeing that example, sometimes it saves lives, or it can turn people around, make them less lonely, make them realize that they too are valuable and can be loved for who they are.
I would say to children, thank you for sharing your daddy, because I know it's probably not very easy to do, but you did it gracefully. And to him, I would say, carry on. And thank you. We're very grateful.
Chris was active in the fight against cancer long before his diagnosis. For years, he and his family rode in and supported Pelotonia, the annual bike ride that raises money for cancer research.
But from the moment of his diagnosis, he became a personal and public champion to many, those who knew him and those that didn't. Here's Glenn McIntyre.
They are the words no one is prepared to hear. You have cancer.
It just takes your breath away. And so many things just flash through. Not only your own life, but your loved ones, your grandkids, everything.
John Cook received his diagnosis in February. Acute myeloid leukemia, the same disease afflicting a man he only knew from TV.
I always enjoyed watching him. Chris, you know, with his little weather facts, talking about growing up on the farm.
He would meet Chris in person a few weeks later as both were receiving treatment at OSU's James Cancer Hospital.
As I went in for my labs, knows Chris Sutton, recognized him, even though he had a mask on. Sitting over in a chair in the waiting room, started talking. He was very inquisitive about wanting to know how my journey of getting there.
Over the course of months, John and his wife Donna would come to know Chris and his husband Jason.
And it would be nice to walk in and see his big eyes and his smile, you know, where he'd pull his thing down and smile. And it was uplifting. And Chris always wanted to focus on supporting you and what you were going through, you know, instead of directing things to what he might need.
That same spirit is what prompted Chris and his family to publicly share their walk with cancer. Doug Ullman is the president and CEO of Pelotonia.
The cancer journey is so personal and so difficult. And so for them to be so public and then to be so honest and genuine and authentic in the way in which they shared it, I think it's remarkable. It says a lot about who he is and who they are as a family. We were so inspired by the way in which Chris was sharing his story that we asked him to come MC the opening ceremony. And for obvious reasons, that wasn't in the cards. And he immediately said, "Is there something else I can do?" And we asked him to record a short video just expressing his gratitude to the thousands of riders and volunteers and donors who make this possible.
Hi, I'm 10 TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Bradley. Are you getting excited? We're just a few hours away from Pelotonia, and we really want to thank you for your participation.
Chris's video was sent to all Pelotonia participants the night before the ride.
I'm wearing my jersey from 10 TV, won't be riding. Unfortunately, I was diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia a year and a half ago, and that's kind of sidelined me, but I will be cheering you on for sure.
I think that video shows a human being dealing with unthinkable challenges. Someone who's used to being seen in such a different light on TV, who's now coming across as someone who's authentically struggling with the impact of cancer. And yet there was a hope in it. Yet his personality shined through.
Chris was also there at the finish line in New Albany, cheering and thanking those riding for the cause. Today, John is in remission. Chris was there to celebrate with him when he got the news.
Every time we would sit and get results, he would just be, so elated that John's was good, and he was having such a rough time. I'm just heartbroken for his family, for those children, and Jason, and for Chris. He's so full of life, you can tell.
Everybody's better off knowing him. You still pray for him and hope that a miracle's there, but even if it doesn't happen, it's a miracle I met him, and he helped me through my journey. It's so much.
For Chris, his strength, his family, and their openness, these cancer warriors give thanks.
There are others who unfortunately might be diagnosed in the future, and they may walk into the James thinking about Chris's story and thinking about the dignity and grace that he approached his journey with, and that will inspire them. And then there are others who will say, you know what, I'm going to ride next year.
Just remember what Chris Bradley said. Nobody fights cancer alone. We're here for you, And I feel he'll always be there for me.
Now, there's something you can do to help those suffering from the same disease that claimed Chris's life.
We took this picture earlier today with the professionals at Channel 4 and Channel 6. On Monday, all 3 local stations will hold a phone bank for Be the Match.
The goal? Find bone marrow donors and connect them with patients suffering from blood cancers. So join us Monday starting at 5 to learn more about how you can help.
Doppler 10 Weather Bug is sponsored by your local Columbus Hyundai dealers.
I mean, I don't totally know what opioids are, but...
It doesn't happen here. Not in denial.
No.
Our kids are way too busy.
My son has good friends.
Don't live in denial, Ohio. Talk to your kids about drugs, and they'll be up to 50% less likely to use them.
Your metro parks are a destination for any season.
Spring brings a rebirth to the prairies and forests. Picnics and swings make the most of a summer's day. Fall's changing scene fills the senses with vibrant color. Sledding, skating, and skiing brings a thrill to winter's chill. Or challenge yourself on a rugged adventure. Whatever the reason and in any season, experience nature in your metro parks. There are 19 metro parks in Central Ohio and 1 near you.
At Midwest Photo, we know that a great photo isn't just about lighting, composition, and a subject. It's more than that. It's a moment that draws you in. It's a smile, a night sky, an unforgettable view, a passion, a job well done, a feeling. It's a brief glimpse into an even bigger story. What's the story behind your photo? Join us for our feature fair, Saturday, December 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Learn, shoot, and share with live on-demand camera, lens, and accessory demonstrations all day long. Our feature fair is free and open to everyone.
We're in a small room.
What? Welcome.
A bigger room?
How many of you use car insurance?
Oh.
Well, what if I showed you this?
Ho, ho, ho!
Wow.
It's a computer.
We compare rates to help you get the price and coverage that's right for you.
That's amazing. The only thing that would make this better is if my mom were here.
What? An unexpected ending!
Being prepared for winter weather starts with New Holland. From large snow removal jobs to clearing the driveway, New Holland has the equipment to stay one step ahead. Overcome winter's toughest conditions and clear snow faster, cleaner, and safer with the New Holland lineup of skid steer loaders, compact track loaders, compact wheel loaders, and compact and utility tractors. Visit your local New Holland dealer today and get equipped for winter. The year-end celebration is going on now. For more details, visit your local New Holland dealer.
It's not just how you celebrate, it's the food you celebrate with. That's how you holiday.
same-day pickup. That's how you holiday.
With WOW Internet and whole home Wi-Fi, you get super fast internet speeds in every corner of your house.
Like this corner.
Down here. In here. Get out! Get 100 meg internet for $39.99 per month and add whole home Wi-Fi for just $9.99 per month.
I think that the word that best describes Chris for me is gratitude, and the words that are related to gratitude: graceful, gracious.
That's Reverend Keeney from Chris's church sharing his words with us to describe our friend Chris Bradley.
Gratitude and grace. It was on display last month when carolers surrounded Chris with love in the form of a song.
This is for you, Chris. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. We'll never know just how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
And that was so beautiful and heartwarming. The carolers then walked to Chris's Worthington home. You see him there, so he could listen to their Christmas carols from the window, and he really enjoyed that.
You could just see that on him.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be right back.
This is a Tempur-Pedic, and so is this. They appear identical. The Better Sleep Shop's the only place to get a Tempur-Pedic for as low as $25 a month. Add your base and get free delivery and a gift card up to $300 at the Better Sleep Shop in Morris Home and Ashley Home Store.
When you're involved in an accident, you may get a settlement offer from the insurance company. Sometimes the offer is fair, most times it's not. To find out, contact Colombo Law. If you're getting a fair offer, we'll tell you for free. If it's not, we'll fight to get you what you deserve.
Happy Honda days are here, and you're going to like the holiday clearance savings. Save on the Accord, on sale for just $249 a month. That's the North American car of the year for less than the competition. Our most impressive Honda ever, on clearance for only $249 a month. Loaded with more options, including a turbocharged engine and Honda Sensing. Don't miss these Honda clearance savings at your Central Ohio Honda dealers.
With the Chase mobile app, Michaela the Prince could pay practically anyone at any bank, all while performing a grand jeté between two grand pianos. She could, in a commercial. In real life, she uses it to pay her sister from her couch for that sweater she stained.
What sweater?
Life lived Michaela's way. Chase, make more of what's yours.
At Ohio Health, we believe advanced cardiac care should never be more than a heartbeat away. We believe in shrinking tumors without minimizing what you're going through. And that the best neuroscience experts help you find new pathways to wellness. Because at Ohio Health, we believe your best health is always within reach.
All these toys, $5 and below.
$5?
Yep.
$5?
Yep.
$1?
Yep. I'm gonna need a bigger elf. That works. $5 below. Just go.
December, the apex of the holiday season, but we're not really on your mind yet. Of course, why would we be? You've still got over 31,000 minutes left to shop. Plus, you're buried in other holiday nonsense, like pretending you don't know who your secret Santa is at work, even though she signed the tag. Great going, Cheryl. Nope, you're not ready for us yet, but we'll be here, waiting, whether it's today or the very last minute. Till then, try not to get your tinsel in a tangle.
We've been shipping product all week to all locations to prepare for this. Get a Sealy Firm Queen mattress, not $5.99 or $3.99, only $2.48 through 9 p.m. Monday at the Better Sleep Shops in Morris Home and Ashley Home Store.
10 TV's Commit to be Fit is sponsored by Ohio Health Hoof It, your Central Ohio YMCA, your Columbus and Franklin County Metro Parks, and by Columbus Public Health.
Bobby says you want a snow day. I'm working on it for you. I mean, we haven't had a snow day with my kids this year. Not even a cold day. Last year, we had a couple of those.
Chris loved being welcomed into your home every night to bring you the forecast.
That's right, and he would have been really thrilled to receive this gift, which came from you. Once again, Chris was honored as Best Television Weather Person in the annual Dispatch Top Picks for 2018, and we were truly humbled to accept it tonight in his honor. We were all over there, talked a little bit about him, and the round of applause you got, Chris, pretty impressive.
It's a standing ovation.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. It was fantastic to see. So congrats again to Jason, because he did it again.
You know, this is a tough thing, but you know what? We were all better knowing Chris.
We were. Thank you for joining us.
Knowing that God loves you and that you're saved and you have eternal life. And when you realize that, it's not really an end. It's a new beginning. There must be an answer to the great unknown. There must be somebody for each soul.